Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to our Thoughtful Thursdays on Mindful Chatting. This is the space where we slow down and talk about what's been showing up, whether it's in my sessions, in our relationships, and maybe even in you. So first, let's grab your coffee, your blanket, or let's just take a deep breath and let's unpack something that we don't really talk enough about: resentment. And more specifically, how resentment is often a mix of jealousy and anger. Let's get into this. So we usually experience resentment as a form of irritation or this sense of distance that we get from somebody, and that heaviness you feel when you're tired of being the one who tries, or when you're silently angry at someone for not noticing what you need. But under the surface, resentment isn't just about that anger. It's actually about pain. And usually that pain has two layers. There's jealousy and anger. Jealousy says, I want what you have, or I want the ability to not notice or not care. And anger says, I shouldn't have to want it. And what this looks like, well, maybe you resent your partner for relaxing while you handle the mental load, or you handle the dishes always every night. But underneath, there's jealousy in that they get to sit without guilt. They get to rest without shame. And anger that you can't do that, or that's not a possibility or an option for you. Or maybe you resent a friend who seems emotionally unavailable when you're running on empty. Underneath, the jealousy says, I wish I could feel that free. But your anger says, I shouldn't have to wish for something so basic from someone. Resentment is what happens when unmet needs have gone unspoken for too long. You are allowing your anger and your jealousy to build within inside you, and there's not a space where you feel you can share that with the other person. For any clinicians tuning in, if insurance billing is the part of your practice that drains your soul, Headway will be your best friend. They get you credentialed, send you referrals, manage your billing, submit your claims, all the stuff none of us went to grad school for. It's free to join, and honestly, it's been a huge support for therapists who want to take insurance without drowning in the administration part. My link is in the show notes if you want to check it out. Here's the thing about resentment, though. It doesn't appear overnight. It actually accumulates and very quietly over time. Every time we say, it's fine, I'll just handle it, or they should just know, we're actually making emotional withdrawals without any deposits in with that relationship. We think that we're avoiding conflict. We think that we're doing something good, but we're really avoiding vulnerability. Because to name resentment, you have to admit that you feel unseen, you feel unappreciated, and you feel like I'm carrying this all alone. And that kind of honesty can feel absolutely terrifying. Because if I go up to somebody and I say these things, I don't know how they're going to hold it. I don't know how they're going to receive this information. I don't know if they're actually going to hear me, which ultimately creates the loop of, again, feeling unseen and all alone. So here's the emotional math, if you will. Resentment equals jealousy plus anger. And jealousy identifies what's missing. Anger tells you what matters to you. So when resentment shows up, it's not a failure, but I want you to look at it like a signal to yourself. It's your body saying, something I value isn't being honored. And the goal isn't to shame yourself for feeling it, or really to shame the other person either. It's to listen to what it's pointing to, because this is the unmet need. I also want to talk about how to work through it, right? Because if we don't know what to do with this resentment, it just is, and it'll keep building and it'll keep building. So first we have to name it, right? Because sometimes we'll just focus on the anger or we'll focus on the irritation and the frustration when really it's resentment. So by naming it, like saying, I feel resentful because I feel I'm doing this alone, or I feel jealous that you feel you can rest, but I can't. We're naming what we're feeling in that moment. And even if it's just inside of our head because we don't feel ready to go to the person, that's okay too, because that validates your experience by saying the emotion even to yourself. And that leads into the next one. We have to validate it. We have to say things like, it makes sense that I feel this way. I've been holding too much. Or maybe I'm taking too much responsibility. So no wonder I feel resentful. No wonder I'm angry. No wonder I'm jealous. This allows you to internally validate your experience without needing another person to do that for you. I think a lot of times we go to our partner or our friends and say, please validate this. Please tell me that this experience is real. And when it's not received or it's defended or unjustified in some capacity by that other person, we feel that our experiences don't matter, which invalidates us, and that only makes us more angry and only makes us more unseen and feeling more isolated and alone with these feelings that apparently we're not supposed to be feeling or that don't make sense. The next thing we have to do is decide what actually needs to change. And this may be the hardest one because sometimes it might be a conversation with that person. Sometimes we might have to go to that person and go, hey, this is my unmet need, and I feel like I need you to help me meet that in this relationship. Or sometimes it's a boundary. When that person feels well to rest and feels no guilt, maybe I need to rest too. Maybe that's something where I need to go up to that person and go, can I rest tonight while you take over the dishes? There doesn't need to be a conversation sometimes. Maybe it just needs to be a boundary of what you're looking for. Sometimes it's allowing yourself the same compassion that you actually give everyone else. Because if you say it's okay for that person to rest on the couch, so do you. You deserve that same compassion when you're suffering and going through stuff, just like all the compassion that you give to everybody else. We are so good at excusing other people's behavior and the way that we react, but we do not apply that same compassion to ourselves. And resentment doesn't mean that you're bitter. It means that you're burnt out. Here's a quick note for my clinicians listening. If you're looking for a charting and practice management system that doesn't make you want to scream, well, guess what? I use Therapy Notes. It's clean, reliable, HIPAA compliant, and honestly saves me hours every week. You can try it with my link in the show notes. Here's my invitation for you this week. The next time you feel resentment creeping in, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what part of me feels left out, overworked, or unseen right now? Because that will help you name it, validate it, and then change it. Resentment isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of emotional imbalance. And you can use it as a map, either back towards your needs, your honesty, and your worth. I want to thank you for being here with me today on another Thoughtful Thursday. If this one stirred something inside you, let that be okay. And maybe share it with somebody else who may need to process some of that resentment. Remember, resentment isn't failure. It's feedback. And as always, let's be gentle with our minds. One more thing before you go, and this helps me personally, staying present and grounded, which we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into disconnection. Me too. It's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really anyone's brain, focus, relax, or sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools or ADHD-friendly resources, I'll keep a list of my favorite links in every episode.